So many people give up on fasting because it simply doesn't work out for them. In this video, I'm going to share with you the most common mistakes that I see people who are new to fasting make, so hopefully you can avoid them. Hi Carb Dodgers, I'm Dr. Dan Maggs, and this channel is all about achieving lasting weight loss through low carb, real food nutrition, and of course, fasting. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then why not go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you can find out when I release more videos. Fasting is a fantastic way to boost our weight loss efforts. It enables us to tap into our stored fat reserves and use them for energy instead of from the food that we normally would have eaten. And it works really, really well. I've been practicing intermittent fasting since I started my own weight loss journey back in 2016, and it's something I've been coaching my clients on ever since. But there are some key mistakes that I often see being made which cause people to see underwhelming results, or worse still, give up altogether saying that fasting doesn't work for them or it's just too difficult. So let's find out what they are. Number one is too much too soon. It's easy and understandable to get all excited about your new health hack that's going to help you finally lose weight. You dive straight into a 24-hour fast or even longer, and then really struggle with your hunger because you're used to eating frequently for 14 to 16 hours a day. You just can't do it, and it's far too difficult. And sometimes it goes beyond this, because people who are starting to experiment with fasting are often on a big health kick and are also starting exercising and perhaps even some form of restrictive dieting too. It's often just too much for people, and they end up feeling way too hungry and giving up. What if you start really slowly, just as you would do with exercise? Perhaps start by delaying your breakfast by an hour each morning for a week, and then by 2 hours for another week. And not necessarily every day, but maybe every other day. Then start by having your evening meal a little bit earlier to extend that time of not eating. Yes, you might see slower results, but if it means you can stick with it instead of quitting, then your longer term success is much more likely. And any reduction in your eating window to under a 12-hour period allows time for digestive rest, and in doing so helps improve the health of the gut microbiome and will help your hunger hormones and insulin levels to improve. Building up gradually eases you into the practice of fasting, giving you time to sit with these gradually extended periods of not eating. Number two is fasting too frequently. I see this with people who get great early results with their intermittent fasting. And then the next seemingly logical step is, some fasting is good, so more must be better, right? Wrong. It is completely possible to overdo fasting, and I've seen this with so many clients because it's such an easy trap to fall into. Fasting has so many positive effects on the body, such as increasing your metabolism, helping you burn fat, but fasting for too long or too frequently has exactly the opposite effect. And very much like chronic calorie restriction, your body will start to down-regulate hormones like your thyroid hormones, which will slow down your metabolism. You're going to feel lethargic, lose muscle strength, you might notice hair loss, and just feel plain awful. And women of reproductive age should be particularly careful and look into how to match their fasting with their menstrual cycle, but should avoid any fasting in the week before their period, as this is a time when the female body is very sensitive to calorie intake as she prepares for the possibility of pregnancy. So remember, some fasting is good, but too much fasting is definitely not better. I'd love to be able to give you a schedule for fasting, but that's just not possible in the context of this video. It depends on you as an individual, what your goals are, where you currently are with your health, your eating habits, and your nutritional intake. This is the kind of support we offer in our online program, so do check out the link in the description for more details about that. And if you're watching this and you've been experimenting with fasting for a while, let us know in the comments what schedule worked for you when you started out and where are you now? Number three is undereating. This is very much related to the last one and sometimes occurs in combination with it. For some people, fasting can cause appetite problems and you don't eat enough. Similarly, if you're consciously restricting yourself when you do eat, this is also not great because this kind of chronic calorie restriction is not good for you. As before, you might feel lethargic, notice hair loss, decreased muscle mass, and strength. So when you do eat, remember you're nourishing your body, getting all those essential vitamins and minerals that you need, getting that protein that your body needs for growth and repair. So focus on high quality, nutritionally dense food when you are eating. Fasting is great, but you do need to ensure that you're meeting your body's nutritional needs when you do eat. Number 4 is overeating. Yes, I realized that 3 was undereating, but overeating can be a problem too. This is a really easy mistake that I've seen many people make. You get to the point where you're just so hungry that you eat everything and anything in sight and end up just taking in far too much food overall and stall your weight loss. This can happen because, as in number 1, you've just done too much too soon and simply not being used to fasting. You just get too hungry. It also happens when you continue to eat a high carbohydrate or processed food diet. Lots of low, nutrient-dense foods means your body is not well nourished, so will drive you to eat more food. Poor food choices are also more likely to cause cravings and so make fasting that much harder to stick to than it would otherwise be. And for some people, it can simply be a reward thing. I fasted for this long, so now I can treat myself to this chocolate bar. Clearly not a great plan. Number 5 is using fasting as a punishment. Now, for me, developing a positive relationship with food is a really important thing. I've seen a few people fall into this negative way of thinking when it comes to fasting. And it goes a little something like this. I've completely fallen off the wagon this weekend, so I'm going to have to do a really long fast to get back on track. So can fasting be a useful tool to help us get back on track when we've fallen off the wagon? Yes, absolutely. But please be kind to yourself and think of fasting as a useful tool, not as a punishment for doing something wrong. Number 6 is not flipping the metabolic switch. What do I mean? Well, weight loss occurs with fasting when your insulin levels are low and you burn through your glycogen stores. This enables you to access your fat stores effectively, and we can call this change from burning carbs to burning fats flipping the metabolic switch. Your glycogen stores, which are in your liver, are very easy for you to access and will always get used before you really start to burn significant amounts of fat. If you're eating a diet high in carbs, then you will continually be refilling that glycogen stores after every meal. Therefore, you'll need to fast for longer in order to burn through those glycogen stores and flip that metabolic switch. Compare that to if you're eating a low carbohydrate diet where your glycogen stores are low, you're going to flip that metabolic switch much faster and be burning fat far more quickly. So in summary, if you're on a high carbohydrate diet, you're going to have to fast for longer to get the same effects of somebody who is on a low carb diet. Which leads me neatly on to my carb dodging top tip. If you get your diet right first, fasting becomes far easier. And Matthew, who left this comment on one of my previous videos, discovered this as well, as did the 350 people who liked his comment. When you start a ketogenic diet, one of the things you'll notice in a short space of time is that the hunger you previously had before simply isn't there. And that's because ketones themselves actually inhibit hunger, and you're allowing your body to access your own fat stores. Then if you follow the rule, only eat when you're hungry, you may find yourself falling into a pattern of regular fasting simply because you're not hungry. I often say that the ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting are like yin and yang. They perfectly complement each other. The ketogenic diet creates the perfect environment for weight loss by changing what we eat, and intermittent fasting creates the perfect environment for weight loss by changing when we eat. So like all things, we need to balance our time of fasting and our time of feasting. A balance for cellular repair and cellular growth, for fat storage and fat burning. Get your diet right to start with by eating nourishing real food. Remember that a low-carb ketogenic diet can really help with this. Start slowly and gradually adjust to periods of longer fasting. Be patient, give yourself time, and the results will come. That's it for today's video. I do hope you found the information useful. Let me know in the comments down below which your biggest takeaway was from this. And if you've enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you could click the like button and make sure you're subscribed to my channel for more information like this in the future. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next video.